Welcome back to Pressure Proof Leadership Channel. Now, this week we're talking about why good leaders feel guilty for setting boundaries. If you're a leader who feels guilty when you say no, or when you log off at the end of your shift, or when you feel as though you have to protect your time, you're not weak. As leaders, especially in a fast-paced environment, you're trained to confuse leadership with availability. And that confusion is costing you more than you even realize. Most leadership roles, especially in a fast paced environment like the contact centers and the BPOs, they never teach boundaries. What is taught is being responsive, being dependable, and being there for everyone. Somewhere along the way, leaders internalize a quiet rule that says if I'm not always available, I'm not doing my job well. That belief sounds responsible, but truth be told, it's it's unsustainable. And I know that you'd have found that out by now. Let me say this one truth. Boundaries are not selfish. Many leaders don't avoid boundaries because they feel like they don't need them. You avoid them because you feel that boundaries are wrong. You feel as though saying no is you letting down the team, or if you're logging off at the end of your shift, you're irresponsible. Or if you delegate, it feels that you are abandoning control. So instead, you absorb everything, the after hour messages, the emotional spillovers from your team, the problems that aren't yours to solve, and you call it commitment and dedication. But what it really creates in you is a quiet resentment and a slow burnout. Here's another truth: constant availability erodes authority. And here's a part most leaders don't expect. When you're always available, your leadership actually weakens. The team begins to rely on you instead of thinking or coming up with solutions on their own. They escalate everything instead of trying to resolve it. And they wait instead of making a decision. You become a safety net for everything, which means you're never free to lead at a higher level. You're always consumed with what your team has to do. Availability feels helpful, but let me tell you this: over time, it limits your growth for you as well as your team. Never forget that. Here's what I want to tell you though: boundaries are not disengagement, they're leadership structures. When you set boundaries, it clarifies what's urgent versus what is important. It clarifies what requires your leadership versus your ownership. It also clarifies what belongs to you versus what belongs to your team. Strong leaders don't do everything, they design a structure that works and a structure in which their leadership thrives. Here's another truth I want to give you and help you with as a solution to not feeling guilty. Start setting boundaries. Ask yourself, is this a leadership task or is it an execution habit? When I say leadership task, is it you giving direction? Is it you making a decision? Is it you coaching? If not, then it falls under execution habit, which means you're constantly fixing things. You're jumping in when there is an issue. You are being the default problem solver and you're taking the ownership from your team. Begin removing yourself from what your role doesn't require. That's not you being negligent. It's leadership, maturity, and structure and boundaries that helps both yourself and your team to thrive. Start normalizing not always being available. Healthy leadership includes what we call visible boundaries. It means you're not responding instantly, scheduling time to think. You are modeling what rest looks like and what clarity looks like so that your team also can model this type of behavior for you. As a leader, when you normalize boundaries, your teams adapt to it. The systems around you adjust. Now, this takes time and it takes practice, but it also sees performance stabilizing. You may be thinking that it doesn't work, but I want to challenge you to try it, to start today. If you're not setting boundaries, then you are allowing yourself to be drained and slowly burned out. You're not setting boundaries against your team. What you're doing, you're setting your team up for sustainability. I want to leave this final thought with you. Your leadership doesn't require self erasure. The goal isn't to carry everything. The goal is to lead in a way that lasts. If you feel guilty for protecting your time, then this channel is here to help you unlearn that pressure. Because strong leadership isn't about being everywhere and doing everything. It's about being effective where it matters most. Thanks for being here. See you when I post my next video. And let me hear from you in the comments. Do you feel guilty when you set boundaries? Are you setting boundaries? I would love to hear from you.